Governor Gavin Newsom is now doubling down in his fight against Texas Republicans' redistricting plan. What he and other Democrats here in California are now vowing to do and what challenges they're facing.
President Trump reigniting his desire to build a wall on parts of the U.S.-Mexico border. A look at what steps the White House is taking to make that project a reality.
Preparations are underway for the summit between the commander-in-chief and Russian President Vladimir Putin, with President Trump now appearing more optimistic ahead of tomorrow's talks.
If the first one goes okay, we'll have a quick second one. I would like to do it almost immediately, and we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself if they'd like to have me there.
Well, we'll hear more. What the president is warning could happen, though, if the leaders cannot find common ground on bringing Russia's war in Ukraine to an end.
You're watching Fox 26, and now, great day.
We begin live this hour with a look at the Sundial Bridge up in Redding, and it's a beautiful morning, and boy, seriously, those are all the stars? Wow.
No
that's pretty stunning.
I'm still waiting for a meteor.
oh, yeah, maybe we'll see. Well, we could be on this shot much longer than our producer would like as we watch. Good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us today. I'm Kim Stevens.
I'm Liz Gonzalez.
And I'm Justin Willis. Thank you for joining us here on this Thursday. The peak for the Perseids meteor showers last night. I mean, but still visible through the 23rd.
But you're telling me there's a chance.
I'm telling you, there's all kinds of chances.
Miss Optimism.
And you can still see, I think it's Venus and Jupiter kind of lined up there. They're very bright in the night sky, so that's really cool. The other story today is the weather is starting to back off for us. Yeah, exactly. That's the forecast for today. There you go. So let's take a look and see how things are going out there for you. Current conditions right now, nice and clear out there, 69 degrees. North-northwest winds at 5 miles an hour, dew points at 58. Here's the rest of your day. Nice and sunny out there for you once again, 78 degrees at 10 a.m., 85 at noon. 5 o'clock will be at 96 degrees. Wind speeds may be getting up to 9 miles an hour by the end of the day. Coming up next, your next weather maker is cooling things down for us. I'll explain why that's happening coming up.
All right, we have new details this morning in the search for Whisper Owen and her 8-month-old daughter, Sandra McCarty, who have been missing since mid-July. Fresno police say that Owen's car was now seen in six different locations on the night of their disappearance. The silver 2006 Chevrolet Trailblazer that Owen was driving was spotted in Oakdale twice that night, minutes apart. Police say this is the last confirmed sighting before the trail went cold. That search now spans 6 locations across the Central Valley with more than 10 agencies involved. Police say they're not suspecting foul play but are dedicating significant resources to finding them. Anyone with information is urged to call Fresno Police. An adult and a child are now in the hospital after being hit by a car in southwest Fresno. Police say just after 9 last night, they received a report at Marks and Ashcroft of a pedestrian hit by a car. When officers arrived, they found the adult and child in the roadway. Both of them were taken to the hospital. Officers say they learned the child had been standing next to the adult who was crossing the street outside of the crosswalk. The driver, we're told, is cooperating. Officers say that person's also being treated for injuries unrelated to the crash. At this point, police don't believe that alcohol or drugs were factors in this crash.
Happening today, Governor Gavin Newsom is expected to make a major announcement at a rally in Los Angeles. In a post to X, the governor, in all caps as you see here, called the gathering a beautiful rally and criticized Texas Governor Greg Abbott's redistricting maps. He also referred to President Trump as a criminal president and suggested the Democrats are looking to retake Congress. Now, Governor Newsom described the event as a potential turning point, even calling it Liberation Day, taking a page out of President Trump's rhetoric book. Now, that rally is expected to announce the push to redraw California's congressional maps. It is in response to President Trump calling on Texas to redraw its maps to protect the Republican Party's House majority in next year's midterms. By Texas law, lawmakers can redraw maps as they see fit, usually every 10 years. Well, they did it just 4 years ago, so 2025 is not a redistricting year, which is one reason political adversaries find fault with the plan. However, That's not the case for California. In 2010, voters approved an independent process. Redistricting is managed by an independent commission. So now, California Democrats are pushing for a special election to redraw maps mid-cycle to match Texas's redistricting efforts.
We tried to play by a higher set of standards and rules with our independent redistricting, and we believe in that. And we are not talking about eliminating that commission. We are talking about emergency measures to respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas.
Now, Governor Newsom says lawmakers have until August 22nd to get the measure on the ballot. That's next Friday. If California moves forward, Governor Newsom projects that new maps could flip up to 5 new seats in the state, seats that right now are Republican. If Texas abandons its redistricting plan, then Governor Newsom says California may choose not to proceed.
But a special election to consider redistricting will cost the state hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, so just how much is at stake? We did reach out to the Secretary of State's office. While it could not provide numbers to get an idea of the expected cost, we can look at the most recent special election. That was the 2021 effort to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. That election cost the state $200 million. In Fresno County, $3.1 million. Merced County, more than $1 million. And Tulare County, just over $1 million. It is important to note that since the 2021 special election, the state has gained more than 800,000 voters. San Diego Republican Assembly member Carl DeMaio's office by the way, he's been a vocal opponent of the redistricting efforts. His office says that salaries and benefits, by the way, are also up 19% since then. Postal rates have also gone up. So again, this is all going to mean a more expensive special election. In fact, his office estimates the price could be closer to $250 million this time around. Plus, there will likely be lawsuits filed, which could lead to millions more spent by taxpayers. Now, 2 of the most closely watched congressional seats in the state, the 13th and 22nd districts, are right here in the central San Joaquin Valley. Now, this is where they're located, and these are the current maps for those 2 districts. The 13th district seat is currently held by Democrat Adam Gray. He had a narrow victory last November. The 22nd district held by Republican David Valadao, also a narrow victory. Both districts have a history of very closely contested elections and alternating victories between Democrats and Republicans. This makes them prime targets in this current redistricting standoff between Texas and California. Now, it was yesterday during Great Day that we talked with GV Wire News Director Bill McEwen about what's at stake.
We could find ourselves in a new district. We could find candidates that we're really not that familiar with. And in regards to the Valley's clout, when they redo these districts, you know, is the Valley going to have the same number of seats, or will they lose one? Chances are we would retain the number, maybe even gain one, because Valley population is growing.
We want to know, what do you think? Get your phones ready to vote. Should California rely on an independent commission, as it has been, or the state legislature to redraw congressional maps? Right now, all of you are saying an independent commission, at least those of you that have voted so far. If you haven't done so yet, just go to kmph.com/poll or scan the QR code on your screen to join this conversation. We're going to be checking back to see how people are responding throughout the morning.
Our time is 5:08. Let's get a check of the forecast and show you what's happening out there. So, out of triple digits, thanks to this low pressure that's dropped in from the north here. Broken up that high pressure a little bit here, most of which has moved over to the east and kind of hanging out over the Four Corners region. But also, we got another little bit of low pressure here that's been bringing some chances of precip up to the Sierra Nevada mountains there. It's starting to back off a little bit, so let's take a look at the futurecast and see what we can expect up in the mountains. It's really not going to be a lot, nothing doing earlier this morning, but by the time we get to this afternoon, maybe 1 o'clock, very slight chance there, maybe around Sequoia, Kings Canyon National Parks there, and it'd be for the higher elevations, if anything. But chances do increase there this weekend. We'll see some stuff happening up there Friday, tomorrow afternoon, about 5 o'clock there. Higher elevations on that. Any rain is possible. There is some dry lightning that is possible out of this as well. And then again on Saturday afternoon. So this is along the Sierra Nevada crest, so nothing terribly impactful for us on the valley floor. In fact, it's going to be fairly dry here. We're going to be at 47% humidity today. That is up from what it was yesterday. At its lowest point, at 21%, which is still fairly dry. Tonight, though, we'll rebound to 58%. Now, the dew point is picking up as well. It's 59 degrees on that dew point there. So that could impact the temperature for us today, and it might feel hotter than the 97 we're forecasting today. 97, by the way, is the normal for this time of year. Tomorrow we'll be at 98, fairly normal, but then Saturday we're actually going to be a little below normal there with a 95, 60s overnight, and then about 5 to 10 mile-an-hour wind speeds for you probably in the early evening hours, I would say. Up next, we're going to get a look at your highs and lows across the rest of the San Joaquin Valley.
Time is now 5:10. The Trump administration is now working to build portions of the border wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Why that project previously came to a halt. And Fox 26 and Fashion Fair teaming up to give families a helping hand in this back-to-school season with random acts of kindness. We'll show you the heartwarming moment when Kopi surprised a mom and her 2 daughters outside of American Eagle.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.